Hello, and welcome back to my humble show. Sorry, I didn't mean to shout into your ear. I'm just happy to be here. Like, subscribe, and enjoy the ride. That's all I'll say. I'm going to skip the rest of my intro because I have to go back to work soon. I want to clear this room as fast as possible on that basis. I did attempt to record a show yesterday. In fact, I did record a podcast, but I did not get the last laugh. While uploading it, I realized that I had said something inaccurate. So before it went public, I deleted it, and I'm going to try again today. But I'm going to cover a different topic. I'm going to talk about Sam Brinton. That's right. I haven't talked about him in a while. But I'll just add that in regards to yesterday's unsuccessful podcast, I was covering the latest news about Rupert Murdoch stepping down over at Fox News. So I don't know if I'll re-record that at some point because it's now old news. But yeah, this is old news as well, but not as many people have talked about it, so hopefully it hasn't worn out its welcome. It's always a fun time, always a good time to talk about Sam Brinton, right? Former employee of the Biden administration, essentially, who has found himself in a lot of hot water. He is the so-called non-binary nuclear official, ex-nuclear official. So just because I have talked about him previously on my Articulate Thinker News Clips channel, which didn't used to be called the News Clips channel, it used to just be called the Articulate Thinker channel. I'm going to show you this list of videos of podcasts I previously recorded about him. And yes, I will be referring to him, as he, because that's what he be. All right, so in December of 2022, I uploaded a video titled "Non-Binary Biden Official Sam Brinton Charged for Stealing a Woman's Luggage at Airport." And not too long after that, I recorded another video titled "Update on the Theft of Non-Binary Nuclear Biden Official Sam Brinton." After that, notorious non-binary Biden official Sam Brinton fired after multiple theft charges. After that, follow up on Sam Brinton, and then some other news about Paul Pelosi and Colorado Springs shooter, unrelated issues. After that, ex-Biden nuclear official Sam Brinton to undergo mental health evaluation in luggage theft case. After that, non-binary ex-Biden official Sam Brinton arrested for being thieving fugitive from justice. After that, LA Dodgers Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence and Sam Brinton dragged nuns in delusions. He was loosely tied to that group. Well, he was still directly tied to that group, just not the same sector as the controversial sector in LA, having to do with the LA Dodgers. Quite a dodgy story, but I've covered all of that in the past. If you want to watch any of those podcasts, they're still up on my Articulate Thinker News Clips channel. I may delete them eventually. I'm just trying to give you the rundown because I don't want to cover all of that in this particular podcast, which I will refer to as a pod because I'm hoping that's how short it will be. So let me see what there is to see now. The latest news on Sam Brinton. Designer gets back clothes stolen by gender-fluid ex-Biden official. And here is his photo. Trevor, for Trevor Project in the background there, and that will come into play. I'm going to read through this and react to this. I have a couple more articles pulled up, a couple of websites, a few thoughts on the matter, but I want to move on as quick, fast, and in a hurry as possible before I have to scurry back to work. This from the Washington Free Beacon, though. Police have returned clothing belonging to a Tanzanian fashion designer that was stolen by former Biden administration official and notorious luggage thief Sam Brinton, Fox News reported Wednesday. So what had happened was he got caught multiple times along the way. Caught, not cult, but cult works as well because he's like a cult member. Yeah, he got caught on cameras at airports, stealing the luggage of women, which he then wore on various occasions. And in another case, in which he wasn't directly caught on camera, there was an aforementioned Tanzanian fashion designer who recognized what he was wearing and said that she herself had designed what he was wearing and that he had stolen from her as well. So that has proven to be true. Also, as has everything else about him, the designer, Isaiah Kamson, reported her luggage stolen from Ronald Reagan National Airport in Washington, D.C. in March 2018 and later saw photos of Brinton wearing her items. The clothes were recovered during a recent police search of Brinton's Maryland home and were returned to Kamson, police say. The WAA, make that MWAA, police department can confirm we returned the victim's property and police retained photos of the evidence for prosecution. Good for them. Crystal Nozal, spokeswoman for the Metropolitan Washington Airports Authority, told Fox News Digital, the case is still under adjudication and we cannot release more detailed information. So once that information is detailed, I'll cover that as well, most likely. Police in May arrested Brinton, who identifies as gender fluid or non-binary, charging the former Biden administration nuclear waste disposal expert with felony grand larceny of items worth more than $1,000. Brinton was fired from the Biden administration last year after facing charges for other luggage thefts at airports in Minneapolis and Las Vegas. The preliminary hearing in the case surrounding the theft of Kamson's clothing is set to take place in December. I saw the images. Those were my custom designs, which were lost in that bag in 2018, Kamson told Fox News in February, referring to photos of Brinton wearing her designs after her luggage went missing. He wore my clothes, which was stolen. Props to her for not referring to him by his preferred pronouns, whatever they are these days. The MWAA returned to Isaiah Kamson various parcels of retrieved clothing after the search warrant was executed. These items were returned in sealed evidence bags. Peter Hansen, an attorney representing Kamson, told Fox News, Brinton, besides being a disgraced luggage thief who delivered a seminar on spanking at a Los Angeles kink conference while on leave from the Energy Department, is also a Washington Free Beacon Man of the Year. Oh, man. Man of the Year. You get it? Let me click this link just to see if there's anything interesting here. 2022 Man of the Year. Bald Freaks. And as you can see, he is on the list. I don't know anything about this list. I'm not even going to read into it. It doesn't seem all that newsworthy. More like Babylonian Bee satire, if you ask me. Okay, just a little portion of a Washington Examiner article. The WAA, I keep wanting to leave the M off there. The WAA, make that MWAA Police Department, can confirm we returned the victim's property and police retained photos of the evidence for prosecution. MWAA spokeswoman Crystal Nozal said in a statement, the case is still under adjudication and we cannot release more detailed information. An attorney for Kamson confirmed the return of the items. So the items have been returned, though possibly not in the greatest shape. The case was filed in Arlington General District Court, but a preliminary hearing has been pushed to December. Kamson filed a separate civil suit against Brinton on Friday, and the former waste official has faced similar charges in Las Vegas. So yes, in addition to all of his other legal matters, Kamson, the woman he stole from, has filed a separate civil suit against him. hopefully there will be some updates about that as well. And one more highlighted portion of an article here from Must Read Alaska, just because it has some additional information about him. Brinton, a transgender advocate who says he is non-binary, was in charge of spent nuclear waste for the Department of Energy. On the side, he gave presentations on the finer points of kinky sex, such as roleplay sex with men dressed as dogs, known as dog play. He founded the Trevor Project. Did he? I don't know about the accuracy of that statement. I don't think that's accurate. I've never heard that before, except in this article from Must Read Alaska. If you know the truth of that matter, let me know in the comments below. Also, feel free to disagree with me on anything I've said. I always say that. Let me know in the comments below what you think, what you know. Thank you very much. But yeah, it says that he founded the Trevor Project, and I'll add to that momentarily, but it goes on, which influenced the Anchorage Assembly to pass an ordinance that makes it a crime for therapists to dissuade children from changing their gender identity or adopting a gay or alternate sexual lifestyle. Yeah. Therapy is an interesting conversation to have, or as some call it, conversion therapy. Brinton is also facing charges for luggage theft from the airport in Las Vegas after being caught on security camera walking away with someone else's suitcase. He is facing charges in Minneapolis for a similar theft. As for the Trevor Project statement, he has been closely connected to Trevor Project, though some of his websites and projects have been removed from the internet. I believe he had a personal Trevor Project page and also just a website in general, sambrinton.com or something like that. Can't access it anymore. I don't know if that's because of legal consequences or whatever the case may be. But as you can see, here is the Trevor Project. If you just Google it, it has the founders listed, and his name is not on the list. So like I said, I don't believe he is actually a founder of the Trevor Project. So maybe they just used the wrong terminology. They meant that he was one of the forefathers of a certain project within Trevor Project, which they apparently see as being tied directly to Alaska. I don't know anything about that project within the project. That is the Trevor Project. But yes, you can see there Peggy, Rajski, Celeste, Lesesne, and Randy Stone are the founders. If you pull up the actual website to the Trevor Project, you can look up more information about them. You won't find his name anywhere at this point, but once upon a time, you could find him. In various video projects he worked on with them. But who cares about that, right? Let's talk about this some more. From the New York Post, fashion designer reunited with clothes allegedly stolen by non-binary ex-Biden official Sam Brinton claims they are not either wearable or sellable. I don't know if there is an image, a photo of Kamzan. Aha! Here she is. So what we have here is a white man stealing from a non-white woman. How racist of him. Nah. He is just delusional. So I hope he is actually getting help this time around. Actually, I don't know if he's even seeking help anymore. I don't know how long that particular part of the program, the punishment program, was supposed to last. A Tanzanian fashion designer has finally been reunited with clothes that were allegedly swiped from her in 2018 by Sam Brinton, the ex-Department of Energy official with a penchant for stealing women's suitcases from airports. Let me enlarge the text a bit here. The Metropolitan Washington Airports Authority Police Department on Wednesday confirmed the development, which was first reported by Fox News. I have that article pulled up as well. The MWAA Police Department, got it right that time, can confirm we returned the victim's property and police retained photos of the evidence for prosecution. The case is still under adjudication and we cannot release more detailed information, a spokesperson said. Yada, 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 bing, bing, boom. Sorry for the repetition here. The articles are blending together. This one is more extensive, though. One-time nuclear official Brinton was charged with grand larceny in February for allegedly taking designer Asaya Kamsin's luggage from Arlington, Virginia's Ronald Reagan National Airport, after pictures emerged showing them wearing a brightly colored, one-of-a-kind frock that had been in the case. So here in this New York Post article, they're going to refer to him as them, as does his Wikipedia page, if I'm not mistaken. I think it's his Wikipedia page, but that's how it goes. That's the internet for you. I try to be more accurate than they do, though, so you're welcome. And you're welcome to stick around. Like, subscribe, and enjoy the ride. Kamsin, who spoke to the Post about the luggage heist earlier this year, did not immediately return a request for comment, but her lawyer issued a scathing statement that noted the returned clothes were not immediately either wearable or sellable as a result of his use of them. Her words, not theirs. Attorneys Peter Hansen and Ben Akek noted that his client last week filed a lawsuit against Brinton, who is non-binary and uses they-them pronouns, to be reimbursed for the stolen items, the larger business harm done to her by the theft, and the public subordination of her business brand to Mr. Brinton's personal brand, he continued. Now, some might say, just let it go. Water under the bridge. Designer clothing under the bridge. But no. Gotta make a statement here. This is nonsense. You cannot let the delusional run wild and free, stealing other women's clothing with glee. Mr. Brinton's theft wrongfully put Asaya Kamsin in a bind. She could watch her stolen designs be used and celebrated without attribution to her, or she could call out the wrongful taking, but then watch both her and her work be publicly linked to Mr. Brinton without her consent. The lawyers continued, repeatedly referring to Brinton as a man. Thank you very much. Pausing for a thumbnail. Brinton was fired last year after being caught red-handed in a string of other luggage thefts. So there you have it. It's a trend, and it has to end somehow. Consequences for the cons. They were also jailed, and I'm only saying they because that's what the article says, were also jailed in Virginia for about 2 weeks in relation to the Kamsin theft before being bonded out ahead of a December preliminary hearing. The former Deputy Assistant Secretary for Fuel, Spent Fuel and Waste at the Office of Nuclear Energy allegedly snatched another woman's suitcase while on a taxpayer-funded trip to Las Vegas last July, according to documents reviewed by the Post. Your taxpayer dollars hard at work. That's what diversity hires get you. People who are not qualified. Brinton eventually pleaded no contest to that incident and was sentenced to a 180-day suspended jail sentence and made to undergo a mental health evaluation and pay $3,670.74 in restitution. So, going to what I said earlier about his mental health evaluation, I don't know if that's still ongoing or not. 2 months later, the ex-Brinton, or shall I say the ex-Biden administration, but yeah, call it the Brinton administration, official allegedly stole a $325 designer suitcase from the Minneapolis-St. Paul airport baggage claim and was then seen using it on 2 different occasions. Brinton, who is in their mid-30s, initially denied stealing the suitcase to police officials, or officers, but later claimed they had it in their possession after taking it by mistake. Sounds like a drove of thieves, doesn't it? When they keep using plural pronouns. It's nonsense. I mean, what do you do if you're a police officer and you pull someone over and the someone in the car says they're non-binary and go by they them pronouns, and in the process of attempting to ticket them, they I don't know, punch the officer in the face, the police officer in the face, and speed away, and the police officer calls for backup and says they're getting away, and then he's asked, okay, are we talking about a man or a woman? A non-binary person. Use they them pronouns. Okay, I'm gonna need some more descriptive descriptions than that. See, when it comes to legal matters, get it together, world. Get it together, United States. I mean, come on. We're talking about a criminal here. That makes it even more nonsensical to pander to this person's preferred pronouns just because they have a sense of pride in their self-identification. Come on. What's next? They start identifying as non-criminals. In this case, he. So, in case I didn't read the sentence already, Brinton, who is in their mid-30s, initially denied stealing the suitcase to police officers, but later claimed they had it in their possession after taking it by mistake. Just trying to be biologically accurate here. Facts over feelings. To resolve that case, Brinton agreed to participate in an adult diversion program. Diversion reminds me of Hunter Biden's sweetheart plea deal. Adult diversion program for the first time. Or for first-time nonviolent offenders, and undergo a mental health evaluation. Write a letter of apology to the victim, return any stolen property, and perform 3 days of community service. In February, Camson revealed how she had to cancel a fashion show after her bag of 30 original custom-made pieces was swiped from the airport, only to see the dresses being worn by Brinton at public events. So, could it be that there are many more custom-made pieces? I mean, the attorneys have said that they can only say so much. So maybe there's much more that we don't know. Maybe he'll owe more, ultimately. That's why she is suing him. Might seem a little bit petty if it's just one custom-designed piece of artwork. Though I don't think that's petty. But what if it's many more pieces than that? As many as 30, in fact. 30 original custom-made pieces was swiped from the airport. I was thinking, who took my bag? Where is it? For a long time. Then I see images of the outfits being worn by Brinton, and I was so confused and upset, said Camson, who splits her time between Houston and Tanzania. And it could be that he sold some of those items. But considering how obsessed he is with them, with women's clothing generally, I kind of doubt that. For the end of the article now, I don't know if I would like the clothes back, she said at the time. The investigation is in good hands with the FBI. I'm waiting on them. They will do the right thing. So there she herself says that she would like the clothes back, or that she doesn't know if she would like the clothes back. I would assume because she doesn't know what condition they're in. Or just because of the nature of the supposedly non-binary individual who took them. But yeah, that seems to suggest that she did not get most of what was taken from her back. But maybe more will be revealed through the process of the court. Police find female designer stolen clothes in the ex-Biden official Sam Brinton's home. And you know what? This article was published before the New York Post article, and I don't have any more time to spend on this topic for now anyways, so I believe I've tackled it appropriately. This is an article from Fox News if you're interested. Look it up for yourself. It has more specific details about the amount of clothing he had stolen previously. And who knows, maybe there are many more instances which were never caught on camera. I mean, if he did it that many times, who knows how many times he did it. But here you see the values of everything he stole in terms of clothing and baggage, suitcases, whatnot. I'll finish with this. Brinton was on an official taxpayer-funded trip to the Nevada National Security Site in Las Vegas at the time of the alleged theft. Brinton faced up to 15 years total for the 2 alleged thefts. However, in both cases, the presiding judges ruled jail time wasn't necessary. So he's getting a little bit of a sweetheart plea deal as well, if you will. The DOE on December 12 announced that Brinton had left the agency but wouldn't comment on the reason for the departure. Now, it's very frequent that people don't receive the fullest potential verdict. In other words, the maximum time they could get, they don't always get. So in his case, I'm not wishing 15 years of jail time on him for his nonsensical notions and crimes. Yes, they are crimes. But either way, he definitely deserves to face some sort of consequence or consequences. But yes, let me know what you think. Let me know what you know down in the comments below. I got to go back to work now. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Keep in touch. Keep in tune. New content is coming soon. Peace.